Oh yes guys, welcome back to Pumpamentals, and today we're going to talk about the cryptocurrency exchange Binance and all the FUD surrounding Binance. As you know, FUD stands for fear, uncertainty and doubt, and sadly, it has followed Binance for years now.
We really need to work closely with regulators to shape the regulations positively for this industry. There's a lot of misunderstanding.
In this video, we'll be speaking about how much of it is warranted, how much of that is fake, and what you can do in order to protect yourself. We will speak about the exchange founder CZ, where he comes from and where he is heading. We'll talk about the connection to the FTX collapse and the latest there.
Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas.
Is being held in jail.
We'll talk about the SEC's recent charges against CZ and Binance, what it could mean for them, and most importantly, what it can mean for the entire crypto industry. Additionally, we'll be speaking about why, despite all of this, Binance is still the biggest exchange, and it is the biggest by far in the world. And most importantly, we'll discuss whether that will change anytime soon. So on that note, smash up the like, subscribe, and let's get straight into the content. Binance Holdings Limited, branded Binance, is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. It was founded in 2017 by Changpeng Zhao and Yi He. Changpeng Zhao, or CZ as he is called in crypto, was born in China, but moved to Canada when he was just 12 years old with his family. They moved following the Tiananmen Square massacre. He lived in Vancouver and worked at McDonald's as a teen, in addition to working nights at a gas station. He attended McGill University in Montreal, graduating with a degree in computer science, so he was a programmer. After graduation, he developed high-frequency trading system for the Tokyo Stock Exchange and quickly became the head of futures research and development at Bloomberg Tradebook. He then moved to Shanghai and founded Fusion Systems, an IT company that had Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse as clients. He discovered Bitcoin in 2013 at a poker game with his friends and took an immediate interest in it, making his first investment soon thereafter by selling his apartment.
Most of my friends thought I was crazy because I was selling my apartment in Shanghai to go into crypto, and I was quitting my job.
Bitcoin quickly dropped in value after he invested, which is something that happens to all of us, as you can see. But he stayed the course and he kept his belief about Bitcoin and this whole crypto space. So while living in Shanghai, he worked at blockchain.com and OKCoin, two centralized crypto exchanges that are still running today. Now let's speak about his co-founder, Yi He, or Kate or Catherine He, as she is called. She was chief marketing officer at OKCoin and hired CZ back in 2014 to be the CTO of OKCoin. After OKCoin, CZ invited Yi He to join Binance when it was launching in 2017. She accepted the offer and helped to rewrite parts of the Binance white paper for its 15 million ICO back in 2017, and she became Binance's co-founder. Binance was initially based in China. However, they moved headquarters to Singapore shortly before the Chinese government imposed regulations on cryptocurrency trading. The exchange offers spot and derivative trading, NFTs, and all kinds of other services.
Join me on Binance.
By January 2018, it was the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. The company has launched two cryptocurrencies, BNB and BUSD. BNB, Binance native token, started as an Ethereum token and later moved to Binance Smart Chain, which launched in September of 2020. There have been many criticisms of the Binance Smart Chain concerning its level of centralization, which have led to several exploits in the network.
Emotional damage.
BUSD is a US dollar pegged stablecoin issued by Binance. According to Binance itself, it's backed one-to-one by dollars. However, there are rumors that it is under-collateralized. Paxos is the company that issues the token natively on the Ethereum blockchain and holds the reserves partially in cash in their US bank account and partially in US treasuries. Binance, however, subsequently created Binance Peg BUSD by locking BUSD in a smart contract convert on Ethereum and then issuing equivalent amount of Binance Spec BUSD held in reserve in the smart contract, so they could take BUSD from Ethereum and then relaunch versions of it on Binance Chain and other blockchains. So Binance Spec BUSD in particular is native to the BNB blockchain. In January 2023, Bloomberg reported that Binance Spec BUSD was, quote, often under-collateralized, and on 3 separate occasions the gap between reserves and supply surpassed 1 billion. A Binance spokesperson said that the process of maintaining and backing has not always been flawless, but has much improved.
Yeah, it's not easy, but progress is being made.
As of 2022, BUSD is the 3rd largest stablecoin by market cap, following USDT and USDC. However, in 2023, the New York government ordered Paxos to stop issuing new BUSD tokens. With CZ's Chinese heritage, the fact that Binance has no real headquarters, and the United States' hatred towards crypto in general, they are the prime targets for smear campaigns. It seems now that the SEC and others have taken off the gloves and are really going after Binance with lawsuits. But will the charges stick? In order to get to that and the FUD of today, we need to talk about CZ's role in the collapse of FTX and the ongoing trial of Sam Bankman-Fried.
Hey, hi. I'm SBF, founder and CEO of FTX.
For those of you who don't know, FTX was a massive cryptocurrency exchange founded by Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF as he is called, in May of 2019. Its collapse in 2022 with an $8 billion hole in its balance sheet made some folks in Washington look like they were on the wrong side of the trade, as politicians from both sides of the aisle took campaign donations from SBF and FTX. And as we'll discuss, part of SBF's goal was to be the top exchange and to have regulators help him get there by targeting Binance.
Number one is regulation and licensing. That is the most important thing for our business. It's the most important thing for the industry right now.
SBF and CZ could have been seen as 2 sides of the same crypto coin. In a few short years, they built 2 of the largest digital currency exchanges, and as former business partners, their highs and their lows were intertwined. But they're 2 very different people, and ultimately they ended up in 2 very different places. Bankman-Fried, who is 31 years old, is the son of Stanford University professors and is a graduate of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He was a multi-million-dollar politician donor who appeared on Capitol Hill in lobbying drives, rubbing shoulders with Bill Clinton and Tony Blair at FTX conferences, and paid for his company's name to be on sports arenas.
Hey, it's Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm excited to be partnering with FTX.
I'm not an expert, and I don't need to be. With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto safely.
It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
While Zhao, who is 46 years old, born in China, followed his academic father to Canada when he was 12. A Canadian citizen by some to have ties to China. As we know, he graduated with a degree in computer science, worked in the industry, and launched Binance in 2017. So we have 2 very different people for sure, especially in the eyes of the regulators. Here is how the FTX collapse unfolded. In November 2022, Zhao was the headline speaker at Web Summit in Lisbon. As he spoke, news surfaced about the balance sheet of Alameda Research, a crypto hedge fund owned by SBF himself.
I talked to Sam, who had just started Alameda, and he convinced me that it was an exciting opportunity, so I decided to take a chance on it.
Did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
Alameda held billions of dollars worth of FTT, which is FTX's own cryptocurrency, and had been using it as collateral for further loans.
We are very concerned about anybody using the token they create for leverage as a collateral. At Binance, we don't do that. We don't use BNB as collateral for anything we do. So it's very simple.
This meant that a fall in FTT's value would hurt both firms, given that Binance was a holder of FTT.
When Sam told me that, I said, wait a second. You gave all your assets to CZ? How much of it was cash?
On Friday, November the 4th, SBF was asked if his company was insolvent, as it looked like he was abusing the system, printing billions of dollars of FTT out of thin air and borrowing massive sums of money against it.
Was that planned? Like, ¿qué pasa, hombre? What is that?
On Sunday, November 6th, CZ then tweets, due to recent revelations that have come to light, Binance will liquidate its holding of FTT tokens. We are not against anyone. But in the same post he added, but we won't support people who lobby against other industry players behind their backs, appearing to be a reference to SBF's donations and lobbying for more stringent crypto trading regulations from his friends in Washington. On Monday, November 7th, SBF reacted to the weekend turmoil with his own series of tweets, saying, and I quote, "A competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine, assets are fine.
We just said, look, we don't want to be entangled. We just want to exit our equity portion. As part of that transaction, we got some FTT tokens. And recently, with the news of them becoming insolvent, carried by CoinDesk first, we just said, well, we want to sell those tokens. That's all we did. We were never against them. We don't focus on other smaller exchanges. Focusing our energy there doesn't give us the best return.
Tuesday, November 8th, in an apparent act of kindness, CZ offers to buy FTX and rescue it. Wednesday, November 9th, as rumors grow of the hole in FTX balance sheet, Zhao suddenly pulls the plug on the offer, saying in a statement, "In the beginning, our hope was to be able to support FTX customers, to provide liquidity, but the issues are beyond our control or ability to help." Then, tweeting it was a sad day. Thursday, November 10th, as FTX scrambled for a new white knight, SBF returned to Twitter to say that he effed up and should have done better.
I'm deeply sorry. Oops, sorry.
FTX future was now in serious doubt. On Friday, November 11th, FTX and Alameda filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and SBF was replaced as Chief Executive Officer.
Tonight, the cryptocurrency world is reeling after the meltdown of one of its most popular trading platforms. The exchange, FTX, filed for bankruptcy protection today as fallen crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO.
Notably, since those events, Binance's regulatory woes have only gotten worse, and the world's largest exchange is facing heat from regulators across the world. Let's start with the charges from the SEC in a tweet from the US Securities and Exchange Commission, where they said, "Today, we charge Binance Holdings Ltd and their founder, Changbin Zhao, with a variety of securities law violations." Then the very next day, Binance General Counsel, Chief Strategy Officer, and Senior Vice President for Compliance all leave the company, reportedly over the exchange's handling of DOJ investigations. This fueled the fire that something must be wrong at Binance if these folks are stepping down. CZ immediately responded, tweeting, "Departures of key executive personnel from Binance are part of the company's usual turnover of staff." More FUD about some departures. Yes, there is turnover at every company, but the reasons dreamt up by the news are completely wrong. This was in response to Fortune reporting that these high-profile personnel had left Binance because of CZ's response to an ongoing investigation by the US DOJ. Ex-CSO Patrick Hillman then took to Twitter to clarify, quote, "It is true that I'm leaving Binance, but I'm doing so on good terms. My wife is literally going to give birth to our second child any hour now, so the time is right for me to step aside. And blockchain and crypto are here to stay, and I'm excited to watch it explode in the years ahead." CZ is not intimidated by the recent storm of regulatory and media scrutiny. In a recent Spaces AMA, he emphasized that the company remains debt-free while holding users' assets on a one-to-one basis, acknowledging that this FUD provides an opportunity for the company to prove its merit, and clarifying that despite all of the scrutiny, Binance continues to be the largest exchange in the world by a considerable margin. Quote, "We are a much stronger company today than we were 2 years ago, I think." Adding that Binance is way ahead of the game in terms of regulatory compliance, highlighting the company's investments in compliance talent and its commitment to staying ahead in terms of regulatory compliance and scrutiny. And so in the Twitter Spaces, CZ accused Binance critics of baselessly attempting to compare his company to FTX. He pointed out that FTX was accused of number 1, blatant fraud, number 2, liquidity mismanagement, and number 3, mismanagement of funds, none of which Binance is accused of.
So for now, all I say is, well played, you won. Can you respond to that?
I think only a psychopath can write that tweet.
Let that sink in for a second. In the SEC complaint, they alleged that millions in company funds were moved between companies owned by CZ. And the SEC complains that this is a sign of wash trading. The SEC also accused Binance of operating as an unlicensed securities exchange and also of illegally operating in the US. The SEC lawsuit is not the only regulator taking aim at Binance though. You have to remember that on March 27th, the US CFTC sued Binance for what it alleged are violations of US trading and derivative rules. So Binance really has many regulators chasing them. Binance is also facing legal scrutiny in Canada, Australia, and France on suspected regulatory violations. Although CZ is right in asserting that Binance remains the world's largest exchange, the lawsuits have taken their toll, you can imagine yourself. The whole world is suing you. And the fact that they're still the largest is very impressive. However, they have lost quite a bit as well. Binance US, for example, dropped its market share by 78% following the SEC lawsuit. Also, we're seeing overall trading volumes on Binance itself fall by 72%. Despite all of this, CZ is positive. CZ struck a confident tone in laying out how he still sees improvements in the broader regulatory landscape in the cryptocurrency world globally, which he suggests could ease up some of the bearishness and bearish pressure the market is facing right now. He noted that there were positive regulatory developments in a number of countries worldwide, for example, in France, in Hong Kong, in Japan. And then looking back at the US, CZ mentioned recent favorable court decisions for Ripple and Grayscale, the asset management Grayscale, as other positives for the industry. So you always have bad news, you always have good news, and CZ is choosing to look at the good news. And so now it seems that the SEC's charges have been baseless, as we see from numerous sources. For example, and I quote from Binance, "We were able to reach a court-ordered agreement with the SEC that allows us to continue our ordinary core business. There has never been any evidence presented by the SEC concerning misuse of customer assets. In fact, the SEC lawyers conceded in court earlier this week when asked by the judge that they had no evidence suggesting that any such thing had occurred."
I wish something a court could say which would actually...
Very, very concerning if the SEC makes these allegations in public, but then doesn't stand by the allegations in court. Let's continue. Coin Bureau tweeted, and I quote, "So they completely missed FTX's misuse of customer funds and lied about Binance doing it. Seems very on brand," obviously referring to all of the mistakes and inaccuracies the SEC has made in the recent cases that they've been filing left and right. Also, there is no evidence, absolutely no evidence of any corruption of assets whatsoever. CZ said it was his view that involving the courts in deciding regulatory questions was a bit unnecessary, but added more communication with US officials would lead to changes in how regulators deal with cryptocurrency, saying, and I quote, "I think right now it does feel like there is a lack of clarity in the cryptocurrency regulations and they're just doing enforcements, which is a bit sad, but hopefully with communication and collaboration things can move forward better." And by the way, keep in mind, if you haven't seen my video about the US presidential elections, you can check it out right here and learn about the political landscape before the 2024 elections in regards to crypto, very important. So, it's worth noting that Binance claims its assets are backed one-to-one and that it can be verified on-chain. Anyone, according to Binance, can check this, and they have never had a problem with customer withdrawals. They use what is called Merkle tree technology.
And so from now on, this is a Merkle tree, ladies ladies and gentlemen.
And during the depth of the FUD against Binance, they were able to process $2.2 billion of withdrawals from Binance US without skipping a beat. So what do you think? Do you think that there is merit to this FUD, or do you think that it's all made up in order to cap Binance's growth? Is it a coordinated attack against Binance, who are an honest business, or is it the fact that Binance is doing something shady behind the scenes? Let us know in the comment section, smash up the like, subscribe, and see you all very, very soon. Have a good day and goodbye, guys. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.